Council meeting for April 7th is called to order. We have a quorum, and if you all don't mind standing, we'll have to pledge allegiance.
Just a minute, I'm not ready.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen. Thank you. So the first item on our agenda is the reading and approval of minutes. Could you say anything?
And if you want an agenda, and we're also going to go over garbage ordinance if you'd like that too.
Sure, thank you.
Okay, minutes for March 10th, 2026. Council present, Mayor Lorene M. Felstadt. Council members Marvin Garding, Sharon Briggs, Kyle Cerencioni, and Tim Fox. Mayor Felstadt led the group in the Pledge of Allegiance. Motion to approve minutes were made by Marvin, Kyle seconded, all approved. Claims discussed in the amount of $44,982.37. Motion to approve the claims made by Tim, Kyle seconded, all approved. Maintenance reports, Marvin Garding, no maintenance report, the flag at the community center will be taken care of. Water sewer, Charlie Jenkins, went over a copy of the information the new meters supplied to homeowners. 90% of the leaks were toilets and the like. We're down from an initial 33 leaks to under 10, and our water usage has dropped considerably because of the leaks being fixed. New service line to Valley Grocery was completed. RLC fixed a couple of water leaks they were responsible for. Town management. Charlie apologized to Kim Garding for his unprofessional behavior on the phone. Town security camera was removed due to transparency and honesty. Tim Fox will investigate managing the data, and a camera will be reinstalled properly later. For any town issue, Charlie asks that you bring it to the town's attention by writing it down and or coming into the town office. Chris Cuneo thanked Charlie for all his hard work. Water project, Paul Montgomery. No significant changes since February. He will request funds at next meeting. Water storage tank grant of $1 million. We can use the preliminary design from the original project on the water tank. The cost estimate is $1.28 million and is eligible for an SRS grant. Do we want a welded or bolted steel tank? The pricing is similar for the size of tank we need. Public comment? None. Quarterly reports. County attorney not in attendance. Sheriff Ryan Funk, 86.5 hours. They are currently fully staffed. Sheriff Funk presented, sorry about the misspelling. Funk presented a draft ordinance for firearms, open carry, and public safety for consideration. He is suggesting a first, second, and third reading to get things updated. Recommends going over an ordinance per month to get more updated. April 4th is a benefit auction, guns and hoses at Superior High School. Fire district was not in attendance. The county planner was not in attendance. Old business. Les Rote agreed in writing to remove the building at the town's right-of-way within 60 days. The town has agreed to protect the well as he is not connected to town water. Mr. Rote mentioned he has a second well and they are spring-fed systems. Bear Smart. Bob Summerfield, Jamie Jonkel, and Jennifer Fortin Norris. Is that how I say that, Bob? Norris, thank you. Gave a presentation. Last year was a good food year with low conflicts. A handful of bear sightings in 9 Mile and near Alberton, and a small handful of lion sightings. Bear activity will increase March, April, May. It's the 4th year of reporting activities. 2025 was busy and they made significant progress due to grant money. Human Bear Conflict Management Plan 9/17/25 includes 6 steps. Complete common assessments of attractants has been completed. Preparing the management plan was completed in 9/25. Implementing public info, education, and outreach is always needed. The review revised County level planning guidance and ordinances is in progress. Garbage in Alberton is the number one problem, and education and information is in progress. A draft ordinance was provided to us. New business. Storywalk Station's request for the park was made by Blue Cutler. 16 signs are located around the path. Funding is from the school. They would like to use them for Railroad Days and Earth Day. Motion to approve by Kyle, seconded by Marvin, all approved. Town Council President vote and Mayor read the MCA description. Marvin nominated Sharon, Kyle nominated Tim nominated Kyle. Sharon and Tim accepted nominations, Kyle rejected. Tim had 3 votes, Sharon had 1. Tim's president by vote. Town clerk resigned. Mayor Lorene M. Fellstadt appointed Shannon Cuneo as interim clerk treasurer. No clerk notes. Mayor notes. Ordinance book has been returned to the library. They are also online. The mayor went to mayor training, which went well, and she will start meeting with 2 people at a time because she can't meet with 3 of the council members. That would be a quorum, so it has to be 2 or less. Public comment. Chris Cuneo asked about the town audit. We missed our opportunity. It won't come again for 10 years per code. A person is required to live within the town limits to participate. Northwest Indian Bible School is doing fry bread tacos, and April 6th is the next gathering. Kyle motioned to adjourn the meeting. Sharon seconded. All approved. Meeting was adjourned at 7:50 p.m. That was from March 10th.
Wait before you go on to the next one.
March 24th.
Wait.
Gotcha.
I apologize to the council that you do not have a copy of the minutes. Do you feel like you'd like to comment on what you just heard read?
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes as read.
Okay.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Sharon?
Aye.
Marvin?
Aye.
Kyle?
Aye.
And Tim?
Yes.
Thank you. And apologies also to everyone here that we have kind of a loaded agenda today, and we did our best to get everything in order. We'll move forward now with the reading of the special meeting.
Okay. Special council meeting, March 24th, 2026 at 6 p.m. Council present, Mayor Lorene M. Fellstadt. Council members Marvin Garding, Sharon Briggs, Tim Fox, and Kyle Cirencioni by phone. Water project, Paul Montgomery, the engineer of record for our drinking water, and Hunter Day from Ambiente?
I think it's ambient.
Ambient. H2O Incorporated, the tank rep, attended the meeting. Paul talked about where we go from here and that we must adhere to the competitive bid process to be in compliance. He will check to see if there is any way to procure alternatives on the tank to save some money. This is the process. Number 1, submit a work plan. Paul's completed that. Number 2, environmental assessment process. Paul has also submitted that. The tank was originally improved in 2021 with the original design, and nothing significant has changed. Number 3, SRF loan application will be done by Paul. And number 4, begin the design. Amendment number 5 covers everything through the tank install, and Paul will provide copies with corrected dates and names. Paul found out that Alberton qualifies for a cost share waiver, criteria E, for the 20% match to do the work. Amendment number 5, motion to approve, was made by Tim, seconded by Marvin. Marvin is a yes, Sharon's a yes, Tim's a yes, Kyle is a yes, all were in favor. No public comment. Water sewer. Charlie went over the vendor criteria checklist of the 5 engineering firms for the wastewater, stormwater engineer of record. Charlie, Carrie Reeby, and George Wheeler were the evaluation committee members, and they recommended Anderson Montgomery be the engineer of record for wastewater. Motion to approve was made by Marvin, seconded by Sharon. Marvin was a yes, Sharon was a yes, Tim is a yes, and Kyle is a yes for all in favor. Anderson Montgomery is awarded the engineer of record for Town of Alberton's wastewater, stormwater, in addition to he's already been the engineer of record for our drinking water. Public comment. Sheriff Funk said, complimented the community on how we come together when needed. Christopher Cuneo commented that Paul Montgomery's a vital relationship with supporting this town. Tim motioned to adjourn the meeting. Marvin seconded. All approved. Meeting was adjourned at 6:31 p.m.
Does the council have any questions regarding the minutes for the special meeting? No. Does the community have any questions about the meeting minutes read?
I make a motion, we accept the minutes as read.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. Sharon?
Yes.
Marvin?
Yes.
Scott?
Yes.
And Terry?
Yep.
Thank you. Motion carries.
Tim second.
Okay. Now, you're watching us up here passing back and forth claims and payroll. And I'd like Sharon to explain what's different now and what we have on our claims.
Yes, the changes were made at the suggestion of the Montana League of Towns and Cities. They help municipalities like us govern. They help direct us in areas. It was brought to our attention that the council members have to sign for the claims and need to sign for payroll. She also suggested we put it in a book because that way if we are ever audited, we have the records that they want to see showing that the town council approved the claims. So this is kind of going to be the new way we do it. It's going to go in the book. It's not supposed to go to the individual council members. They're supposed to look at the book.
So I did request that council members destroy any copies of claims that they have from the past. So this evening's claims were $12,948.05 plus, what was the difference in?
The $1,421.99 is the MMIA workers' comp that got added after we did the claims, but needs to go.
So the total then for regular claims is $14,370.04.
Yes.
And additionally, the claims for payroll is $21,021.35. Does council have any questions regarding the new process or anything that you've read in looking at claims?
No questions.
Questions, Omar?
I have no questions.
Good.
No, I'm sorry, I was briefly distracted by the phone firing off. I was
I'm sorry.
trying to think that it was not mine.
I have to move it on because I want to call.
Finding no comment, does the public have comments regarding our process we just went through? Karen?
Is the 21,000 for the payroll a monthly figure?
It's a little on the high side because the last town clerk was paid out for vacation, etc.
And how many employees are paid with that 21,000?
5 employees, plus I'm on that payroll. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 or 6 of us. I don't have the book, so I don't have it in front of me.
That's right.
You, Shay, Troy,
Marvin.
Marvin. There's also the judge. There's
Yeah.
me.
Kim is on here.
Yeah. So that's for 6 of us. And that also includes
Actually,
medical, because that's part of payroll.
7.
7, okay. So it's a little higher than would be normal, Karen.
Hearing no further questions, I would entertain a motion.
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
And Sharon?
Yes.
Marvin?
Yes.
Kyle?
Yep.
And Tim?
Yep.
Thank you very much. So, moving on then to maintenance report, which will be Charlie this time. doing maintenance report.
Okay. Charlie, town maintenance today. Representing town maintenance today. The flag turned into a fiasco. The new rope was smaller than the old rope, and it got pinched in the pulley. So, despite my best efforts, I got the old flag down, and we are going to have to get a big piece of machinery to get the flag to fly once more. I was pretty dead set on it needed to be the ladder truck from Missoula. They are completely unwilling to let that truck come out of district. So then somebody was like, what about a crane? And I'm like, oh yeah. So there's probably a really big crane with a man basket that we can get up there. So I have yet to look into that. But we will get that fixed. Let's see. Per Blue in the library with the story walk, we got the hardware came. So we have that. We brought it over to our town shop, and Marvin started looking into that, and we will begin looking at posts, where we want to place them and start doing that here. We have been, just this last week, messing with this back deck area. So, that might be down.
It
Yes,
is.
okay.
That's okay.
Yep. We'll talk about that later. In terms of town maintenance, that's really about the most that we've got. We did take the dirt from over here, we moved it over beside the building. We took out the railroad ties that are out over there, next to the town office. And we just reclaimed that dirt, and it was, per Marvin was saying, mowing will be so much better or whatever. It's just kind of like this little hill now, and we will seed and reclaim that. And then I think Marvin was starting to get the bathrooms situated in terms of reopening the bathrooms at some point. We usually don't open till May 1st, but I don't know. It seems like the weather might lend itself to a different time frame this year, unless anybody has concern about the bathrooms opening early. Yeah. I think that's about it, town maintenance. And then I'll just roll right into water and sewer. We've had more leaks that have been fixed, which is cool. And then some more have popped up. It's definitely kind of it's just how it goes. I feel like we're right around that, hovering around that 10 range. We've hit 8 is the lowest I've ever seen. And then one day we were back up to 16. They just kind of come and go, and it's just continuous water movement through the meter. So if somebody leaves something on for 24 hours or 48 hours, it will flag the account as a leak. They're not always a leak. But there are a couple more that I know about for sure that have been remedied, and that's good. The springs and the mountain pouring out water is significantly slowed down, which I think everyone kind of appreciates. I know the roads do. Today I actually met Ty from Morrison and Merrily. This is the first contact for the sidewalk project moving forward. So it was good to touch base with him. We went and walked around and showed him a couple of the problem spots and talked about storm sewer. My big push with them and the sidewalk project is to not do anything that we are going to have to remove or destroy in terms of getting our storm sewer fully figured out. That's kind of the thing. The storm sewer situation is not their baby. They're just looking to make some sidewalks that are very nice in the town. So it was really good to have a contact with him, and now we'll be in conversation more. The lagoons are turning over currently, and so it's kind of like a natural pond or a lake or whatever. There's that spring turnover that's happening. Last week, I don't think we haven't got the results back, but I don't think it's going to be a problem. And then the flows went down this week for sure, so I can very much imagine we're not going to blow our permit on that. In terms of the tank project and the Paul situation, At the special meeting or whatever, we kind of talked about if the town could just purchase the tank from the supplier outright. The answer to that is no. State of Montana has an upper limit of $80,000. Paul was correct on that. And so there has to be that bid requirement and go through that whole process, which makes the tank more expensive. But yeah, and the federal limit is $350,000, and Idaho adopts the federal limit, and I don't know. I talked to Hunter Day about that, and he just said, I said, would it be worth trying to approach some kind of higher up government in the state of Montana? And he just said, good luck. Like they'll just bury you in paperwork. It's not worth your time. And I said, okay. And then the cost share waiver, we did get that filled out and submitted to Matt Mullins of the EPA, and haven't had a response that I know of yet, but we should be sitting on go for that. And I think that's it. Any questions?
So are you saying the government is forcing us to spend more money than we need to? Sounds governmental.
We are not allowed to just go buy a $340,000 tank outright. We have to go through a contractor basically, so there will be that markup cost, and it's.
Is there any way that we could sponsor a new contracting company specifically for this role? You know, something like that.
Yeah.
Seems like a waste of
Yeah.
money.
It's.
Anyway,
It's not taxpayers' money.
It's the competitive bid process, is it not? It's
Um.
required.
Yeah. It comes. There's something to do with it. I think there is. It is like a bidding process. But somehow it's the contractors get involved and they get, yeah. So it would have been a stupendous thing, and it just, that Montana upper limit is 80,000. It's more, you know, Paul would have such a better grasp on all of the ideas, and probably our best move. I don't fully know.
At least we were looking at a way to try to make it more of a cost saving to the community.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Thank you, Charlie.
Okay. Yep.
So we'll move on to member reports. There is no one here from the fire district, but we do have a member of the sheriff's office.
The fire department's just afraid to show their faces after they're beaten down.
Says the man that can't hardly move still.
Ryan, however,
You
he
guys
said he's sick, but I think he just can't get out of it.
Yeah, they'd be better this month.
Speaking of, you guys mentioned the Guns and Hoses benefit earlier. That's something Ryan wants to continue on a yearly thing. New cause every time. Were you there? Yeah. I thought I saw you there. In less than 3.5 hours, we raised over $40,000 for the small camp. So it's going to be a yearly thing, and we're going to try to make sure the cops stay on top. So most of you know me, I'm Deputy Lindauer. Total hours for last month, it was a high call volume month with 97. So we went quite a bit over the 80. So,
Thank you.
myself, I did 21.5 hours. Deputy Hughes did 15. Deputy Atkin did 13. Deputy Augustine did 14. Sergeant Allard did 14.75. Deputy Sutton, because he was off for about a week and a half, he only got 12 in. And then Ryan did 5 as well. Mainly in traffic stops, but there were quite a few calls for service in the town about some disturbances. A lot of EMS, and we're also, I don't know if any of you have noticed, we're popping into all the bars around the county now. just making an appearance because we're trying to stop the drinking and driving as much as we can. Sometimes then just knowing that we're here, I start seeing people walk, so that's been going pretty good.
Thank you, I
That's about it.
appreciate that.
Do you have any questions for the sheriff's office?
How do you spell your name?
LINDAUER.
D.
AUER.
Thank you.
And I'm sorry that I can't stick around tonight. It's only two of us out,
Okay,
unless you guys need me to.
can you leave your report with the clerk?
Yeah,
On your
yeah.
order? That's good.
I absolutely can.
Thank you, Deputy.
Thank you.
Appreciate your report.
Holler at us if you need us.
Okay. You'll be right outside.
What's that? Yeah.
Okay.
Have a good night, guys. You're welcome.
Right.
You're welcome.
And I see Andy's here. Yay.
Hi.
Hi.
Some of you may be aware, may not be aware, we have subdivision regulations that cover Mineral County, towns of Superior, and the town of Alberton. Those were adopted in 2011. The planning board is going to start this month. We're going to start reviewing a new draft. I assume it'll probably take us a year. Just put that in the back of your head, it'll take us probably about a year to get where the planning board says, yep, we like the draft. It's basically like changes to meet state law that's happened since 2011. When the planning board adopts those, we'll go to the towns to get their adoption at that time. So just be aware that eventually that will be coming around.
Okay.
And Sharon can keep you updated on our status.
I wanted to ask about that. According to my documentation, and I'm not sure where I read it, that the stipulation was one individual from the community, which would be George Wheeler, one individual from the council, and the mayor. And I would very much like to be included, but I don't necessarily have to be serving on the board. But I would like to be included in the planning meeting. Is there something formal we need to do for that, or I just come along with Sharon each time?
I don't know if I completely understand, but yeah, if you wanna show up at those meetings, yeah, they're public hearings, basically.
I will
Yeah.
find the documentation, I read that in, and see if perhaps there needs to be a change made. I read both town mayors are to be part of the planning board.
I can get you a copy of our bylaws,
Okay,
but it basically says, yes, someone from the town is to be represented, and then someone on the council is nominated.
right, and that's Sharon, and I don't want to take her place. That's important for sure.
And then there's at-large members too,
And that's
there's,
George, yeah.
yeah. Well, no, there's like, not specific to Alberton, just members can be at-large.
Oh, good,
So there's two of those.
okay,
So,
terrific.
yeah,
Thank you,
I'll send you a copy of the bylaws.
Thank you, I appreciate that clarification. All right. Did anyone have questions or anything? And we do not see the county attorney here today, so we'll move on to old business. There's not a lot to talk about here regarding Les Road. As you heard when Shannon read last month's meeting minutes, he has agreed to remove the building, and it is our understanding he is in the process of doing that, and that we are in the process of getting him a well protection agreement from the county attorney. So not really much to report there, but just endeavoring to have items remain on old business until they're actually complete. So this is still hanging out there because of that.
Do we have any plans in place to enforce that 60-day time limit in case it goes beyond that?
Indeed, we do want to keep an eye on that. Did you have anything in particular you were doing, Charlie, or?
I was not.
I feel like it might be something that we would rather not scramble at the last minute if it
No.
like starts to be going on. and have it ready to go instead of like getting it ready at that time.
Well, he did sign an agreement at last month's meeting.
Right.
We have that in the file.
Yeah.
But
I'm just talking about next steps, if that agreement becomes in breach or whatever,
Indeed.
Right.
I think that's a good comment.
Yeah.
Just so we're not frustrated and doing stuff later, you know what I mean?
Indeed.
Okay, great.
Any other comments from council regarding the budget with Les? Town? Do you have any questions, comments? Well then, yay, hooray, we get to move on to new business. And the first item is our presentation of the $1 million water tank grant by our county commissioner. And it's actually the West End County Commissioner, Dwayne Simmons, because Roman Zalali was not able to attend this evening. Did I say your last name right?
Simons.
Simons.
Yep,
Thank you.
close enough.
Okay.
All right, like Brandon said, my name is Dwayne Simons. I'm the West End County Commissioner. Roland is traveling and couldn't be here tonight, so he handed this to me. And through your hard work, you guys have earned this. And Congressman Zinke was down 2 or 3 weeks ago and presented us with a check to the sheriff's office. And then he also dropped off this check and wondered if we would present it to you guys. So here is your,
Did
you
you want
can't cash that.
No.
Big check. I love a big check.
Hold it up
Yeah.
for
I know that
Monty.
Monty is here, so
Yeah.
can we pose at the end of the meeting with the check?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much. We're
Thank you.
really grateful for this.
You
We
bet.
really appreciate you
You bet.
staying tonight, Roland. This is wonderful.
Oh, wow, that's a big check.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that's, for a long time I've complained about how much federal land we have in Monroe County. But one of the good things about having all that federal land is they really listen to us because we don't have a lot of tax base.
Yes.
And when you put in for grants like this, we get our share. But we deserve it.
And
Yeah.
you all worked hard on it too.
Yeah.
So thank you very much to the
You're
commissioner.
most certainly welcome.
Thank you, appreciate that. It's my understanding that Monty has requested some information and that maybe that would come from Charlie, that you wanted for the article.
What I was looking for was some information on this tower,
Okay.
the old tower,
Mhm.
what you're doing, what brought it to this process.
Mhm.
And I thought that there might be even some type of a press release or documentation or something.
I'm sure that we can pull something together for you.
It doesn't have to be true, it's just, make that what you want.
Well, we're gonna have it be true.
Yeah.
I appreciate your leniency.
Dwayne, are you guys staying for the meeting? Or are you gonna, say,
Do you want to
take the
do
picture now? I'd like to get the whole council in it, if possible. Unless you're gonna go, are you staying?
I didn't figure on staying, but.
Okay, well, here, let me get this now then.
Okay,
I'm gonna
if
stay.
that's all right, then.
Stay
Yeah.
break and take a picture.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yes,
Can you
Karen.
take that check to Ron Zinke and get him to sign it?
Yeah.
I forgot to sign it.
Yeah, that's
Oh, you
it.
didn't sign it.
It was that disappearing any.
Right here. You're gonna stand in the middle.
Yeah.
Wayne's gonna come stand next to you.
My email address is on there. Can you find something?
I'll write you a story. Okay, thank you.
All right.
Okay.
Is this good?
Yeah, it looks good.
Get in there, dude. Get in there.
I'm gonna take a couple of them because his eyes are gonna be closed. All right, everybody's looking here. That's one. All right.
Charlie should be in.
All right, everybody say,
Wait a minute, can we have Charlie in too?
oh, try to get in there.
You better hurry up, man. Is this too wide?
No, This little guy has a Zoom on him. Kicking around here on the floor. Now we got Charlie out there.
When you start watching the show, I start
Now, if anybody has their eyes closed, do that.
Thanks, Charlie, for sanitizing.
You're welcome.
We see what, Mineral Independent, isn't it? Yeah, is it Mineral?
Mineral Independent?
Are you looking at Independent? Do you do this for the Independent?
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, I think it's the one, yeah. Get a name of all the council.
Yeah, we don't have that on there, do we?
No. Yeah. Can you do that here? And then some type of a gift certificate to the depot in Missoula. That too.
Okay.
And a new car.
Okay.
Your choice. Thank you. This town.
Okay, let's go ahead and move forward and look at the garbage ordinance. So, those of you who were here last month are aware that we received a draft copy of a garbage ordinance to replace what is currently on Title VII in our ordinance book. And so we have a copy of the book here, if people want to compare it to what we had before. But it is titled Health and Welfare, starting out with accumulation on premises. And so this was the draft that you were given last month didn't follow the same format of our current ordinance, and so we've reworked it a little bit in order to have it fit that same format so that we could see about incorporating it into our Chapter 7, Title 7, I'm sorry, Health and Welfare. And if we're all ready, we'll read. Chapter 7-1, Accumulation of Solid Waste on Premises. 7-1-1, Duty of Owner or Occupant. The owner, occupant, or person in control of any premises within the town limits shall maintain such premises together with any adjacent streets, alleys, sidewalks, and rights of way in a clean, sanitary, and safe condition, and free from the accumulation of solid waste. All solid waste shall be stored, managed, and disposed of in a manner that does not create or contribute to a nuisance or offensive condition, emit odors offensive to persons of ordinary sensibilities, attract animals or otherwise create conditions conducive to the presence of wildlife, vermin, or insects, allow waste to be scattered, dispersed, or transported by wind, water, or other natural forces, or create or contribute to a condition that poses a threat to public health, safety, or welfare, including fire hazards. The responsibility imposed by this section shall apply regardless of whether such condition is caused by the owner, occupant, tenants, guests, invitees, or any other person. Because this is rather long, we want to see shall we do section by section, or go ahead and plow through it?
I say just go.
Okay,
If
anybody?
anyone has a comment, they can save it to the end.
They can raise their hand.
Indeed,
Yeah.
is that acceptable to the council? Okay. 7-1-2, definitions. For the purposes of this chapter, the following definitions shall apply. and I'll just ask, everybody has a copy? Good, so if you have notes that you'd like to make. A, solid waste. All discarded, abandoned, or unwanted materials, whether solid or semi-solid, including but not limited to garbage, refuse, rubbish, litter, yard waste, construction or demolition debris, appliances, furniture, and similar materials generated by residential, commercial, industrial, or institutional activities. B, garbage. Putrescible animal and vegetable waste resulting from the handling, preparation, cooking, or consumption of food and other materials subject to decomposition that may produce odors or attract animals. C, refuse. All non-putrescible solid waste, including but not limited to paper, cardboard, plastic, metal, glass, ashes, and similar materials. D, litter. Any solid waste that is not properly contained, secured, or disposed of, and which is subject to being scattered, transported, or deposited by wind, water, or human activity. E, residential solid waste. Solid waste generated from residential properties, including single-family dwellings, multifamily dwellings, and associated uses. F, commercial solid waste. Solid waste generated from businesses, institutions, construction activities, or other non-residential uses. G, container. A durable receptacle used for the storage of solid waste which is constructed, maintained, and utilized in a manner that prevents leakage, the escape of contents, the emission of odors, and access by animals. H, nuisance condition. Any condition involving solid waste that creates offensive odors, attracts animals, vermin, or insects, poses a health or safety risk, or results in scattered, uncontrolled, or improperly contained waste. In determining whether a nuisance condition exists, the town may consider whether the storage, handling, or disposal of solid waste is consistent with commonly accepted practices for preventing access by animals. I, composting. The controlled decomposition of organic materials, including food waste and yard waste, for the purpose of producing soil amendments. Number 7-1-3, jurisdiction. The provisions of this chapter shall apply to all real property, whether public or private, located within the incorporated limits of the town of Alberton. 7-1-4, enforcement authority. This chapter may be enforced by the town council, the mayor, or any person or entity designated by the town to enforce municipal ordinances, including but not limited to the Mineral County Sheriff's Office, the Mineral County Department of Environmental Health, or other authorized agents acting on behalf of the town. The town may enter into agreements or cooperative agreements with county or state agencies for the purpose of administering and enforcing the provisions of this chapter. 7-1-5, storage of waste. And the reason it has containers commercial there is because that's the current title of 7-1-5. A, all solid waste shall be stored in containers or otherwise secured in a manner sufficient to prevent scattering or dispersal by wind or weather, access by animals, leakage of liquids, or creation of offensive odors. Solid waste shall be stored and placed for collection in a manner that minimizes the likelihood of access by animals and shall not be set out earlier than reasonably necessary prior to scheduled collection or disposal. B, containers shall be of sufficient strength and capacity for their intended use and shall be maintained in a clean, sanitary, and serviceable condition. C, solid waste shall not be stored directly upon the ground except for temporary accumulation associated with cleanup, moving, construction, or disposal activities, and only for the duration reasonably necessary to complete such activity. D, at no time shall solid waste be stored, accumulated, or placed in a manner that creates or contributes to a nuisance condition. 7-1-6, accumulation limits, formerly titled containers residential. No person shall permit or allow the accumulation of solid waste upon any property in a manner that creates or contributes to a nuisance condition. B, temporary accumulation of solid waste for purposes such as cleanup, moving, repair, or construction shall be permitted, provided that such waste is removed and properly disposed of within 14 days. C, the presence of solid waste beyond the time period specified in subsection B shall constitute prima facie evidence of a violation of this chapter. Thank you. 7-1-7, adequate containers required, formerly called containers, supply, and use. Every property generating solid waste shall provide and maintain sufficient container capacity to accommodate all solid waste generated between collection or disposal intervals. Failure to provide adequate container capacity resulting in overflow, spillage, or improper storage shall constitute a violation of this chapter. 7-1-8, keeping property and containers clean. A, property owners and occupants shall maintain all premises under their control free from litter and improperly stored solid waste. B, owners and occupants shall prevent solid waste originating from their property from accumulating upon adjacent streets, sidewalks, alleys, or other private or public or private property. C, all containers shall be maintained so as to prevent unsanitary conditions, leakage, infestation, or the emission of offensive odors. D, the area surrounding any container shall be kept clean and free of spilled or scattered waste. 7-1-9, littering prohibited, formerly titled distribution of handbills. No person shall deposit, throw, place, sweep, or otherwise scatter litter upon any public or private property, except when such litter is placed in a proper container or delivered to an approved disposal location. 7-1-10, disposal of waste, formerly titled littering. A, all solid waste shall be disposed of only at a disposal facility permitted or authorized by the state of Montana or Mineral County, or through a lawful and authorized collection service. B, it is unlawful for any person to dump, deposit, or abandon solid waste upon any road, right-of-way, riverbank, vacant lot, or other public or private property without the consent of the owner or lawful authority. C, the placement of solid waste in any location not intended for its proper storage or disposal shall constitute unlawful dumping. 7-1-1, burning, burying, and compost. A, no person shall burn or bury solid waste upon any public or private property except as expressly permitted under applicable state laws and regulations. B, any fire conducted pursuant to such authorization shall be maintained in a manner that does not create excessive smoke, odor, or nuisance to neighboring properties or the public. C, composting of organic materials is permitted, provided that such activity is conducted in a manner that does not create a nuisance condition. Composting containing food waste shall be maintained in a manner that reasonably deters access to animals. Compost materials shall be maintained so as to minimize odors, prevent the attraction of animals, and prevent the scattering or dispersal of materials. 7-1-12, transportation of waste, formerly removal of litter at construction and other sites. All solid waste transported within the town shall be contained, covered, or otherwise secured so as to prevent spilling, leaking, blowing, or scattering of waste during transport. Any person transporting solid waste shall be responsible for the immediate cleanup of any material that is spilled or scattered. 7-1-13, failure to comply abatement, formerly transportation requirements. A, upon determination that a violation of this chapter exists, the town shall provide written notice to the responsible party describing the nature of the violation and specifying a reasonable period for correction. B, if the violation is not corrected within the time specified, the town may, without further notice, enter upon the property as reasonably necessary to abate the violation, remove and properly dispose of the solid waste, and assess all costs of such abatement against the property owner. C, such costs may be collected in the same manner as other municipal charges or may be assessed as a lien against the property as allowed by law. D, in cases where a violation presents an immediate threat to public health, safety, or welfare, the town may take corrective action without prior notice and assess the costs accordingly. 7-1-14, consideration of accepted practices, formerly dumping on vacant lots. In determining compliance with the provisions of this chapter, the town may consider whether the storage, handling, or disposal of solid waste is consistent with commonly accepted practices for preventing the attraction of animals and the creation of nuisance conditions within the town. The town may also consider any policies, plans, or guidelines adopted by the town relating to solid waste management or wildlife interaction as evidence of such accepted practices. This section does not create additional requirements beyond those provided in this chapter. 7-1-15, violation, penalty. A, any person who violates any provision of this chapter shall be deemed to have committed a civil offense. B, upon conviction or determination of a violation, such person shall be subject to a fine not to exceed $500 per offense, recovery of all costs incurred by the town for abatement or enforcement, or both. And finally, C, each day that a violation continues shall constitute a separate and distinct offense. I had mentioned this is different than what you all received last month. It was reworked in an effort to have them match what our current ordinance, the format of our current ordinance. And this was mainly through Tim Fox's efforts, our president of the council. So thank you for that, Tim. Now, does council, following that, have any immediate comment?
If not,
And
I do not.
if not, I'd like to open it up to the town, then, to public.
I have a lot to say about this document and about this process,
Okay,
but I'm going to try to temper my comments so as not to alienate myself from the town of Alberton.
thank you.
Last year, 2025, town council asked Bear Smart Alberton Working Group to draft a new garbage ordinance for the town that would be compatible with the principles of Alberton becoming a Bear Smart community. Because you folks said in a resolution that you voted for and passed that you wanted to become a Bear Smart community. We, at your request, drafted that ordinance. We gave it to you last month. So I was surprised And I have to say, a little disappointed that when I walked in tonight, I was handed this document, which is 100% different than the document we gave you. Bears no resemblance to that document. Bears a lot of resemblance to the town's old ordinance, which has been deemed to be inadequate and most likely unenforceable. Also bears no resemblance to the garbage ordinances for 15 other towns that we reviewed in preparing our draft. Those are towns that either have been certified as Bear Smart communities or on a path to becoming certified as Bear Smart communities. I was just handed this document, so I had a quick reading. I need to take it back and study it more. But my initial impression is that if you folks are serious about becoming a Bear Smart community, and you said you were when you passed that resolution, this is most likely not going to cut it. The language in here is watered down and made very vague with respect to what you have to do with garbage cans.
Okay.
There's no way to determine whether a garbage can is bear resistant, is wildlife resistant, or not based on this language. It's pretty much up to whoever, it doesn't even say who makes that determination. What I would like to do is take this back and have the Bear Smart Working Group review it, submit written comments to the town council if that fits within your process for finalizing this document. I realize that you're a sovereign government body. You can vote on and approve anything you choose to vote on and approve. But again, you said you wanted to become a Bear Smart community. This is not the route to do it.
Thank you for those comments, Bob, and I apologize for the last minute change. I completely hear what you're saying and would like to propose then we table this for the meeting that you have requested, and we make a better attempt for first reading for the May meeting then.
Sounds good to me.
And then that way, because
I'm more than happy to work with you
Yes.
on modifications. I'm a little bit aghast, frankly, that there was no consultation whatsoever with any professionals, either in the wildlife field or the garbage industry field, in drafting this document.
Okay.
That answers one of my questions.
Okay.
The second one is this enforced through the county attorney's office or the sheriff's office? The chain of command for a violation, how is it reported?
That's a very good question.
I just wondered where the
Yeah.
bite might be, not very.
From what I just read here, it sounds to me like that it starts with council and the mayor,
Okay.
and then ends up moving, where was that part at? And then it moves to the sheriff's office.
Okay.
And, yeah,
And then the county attorney.
and then the county attorney.
Okay, thank you. Just looking through the trail.
Yeah, here we are.
We would always like to hope that it's resolved within the town first.
Absolutely right.
Exactly.
That's always the first step.
Yeah, it is.
Any complaints to the office and address with it.
Hopefully, just centralize it.
Absolutely.
Got it, thank you.
So I apologize to you, Bob, for that. We have no intention of watering it down or essentially negating all the work that the Bear Smart Group had done to prepare something. The essential goal is to have it be something that we could, in order to adopt it, my understanding is that it needs to fit in the format of what was previous.
Yeah,
So shall we meet with?
if I could comment on that for a second.
Yes, please.
The format of the current Alberton ordinances is not something that's written down in law somewhere. I've looked at garbage ordinances for 15 different towns. They're all completely different, and none of them look like the Alberton ordinances. So you are not bound in any way to follow any specific format.
Okay? As far as you're aware.
Yeah.
Because as far as I'm aware, then at the end of my copy of this, it has an amended Chapter 7-1, accumulation on premises. They mark what they changed, what they replaced, and that they noted what no longer pertained and then dated it. But I fully admit I am brand new at all of this, and so I am certainly open to input and learning the proper procedure.
Yeah, I would suggest if you have questions about what format is required or not, that maybe you should consult with the county attorney on that.
Yeah, you know, I would also like to address some of your comments, Bob, if that's all right.
Sure.
Yeah, I did play a hand in helping to draft this new ordinance. And after reading the draft proposal by the Bear Smart Working Group, I felt that it was very descriptive on a lot of like why, and I didn't feel that it was descriptive enough on what the ordinance was about. And so when I was putting together this draft, I wanted to be able to refer to the Bear plan that we have adopted as a town, which I'm sure you remember. And the section, I believe at the end, section 14 or 15, is specifically targeted towards the consideration of accepted practices. Specifically that since we've already adopted the Bear plan, the town has the authority to use that Bear plan as the rubric for determining compliance with this new garbage policy.
Why don't you just say then, instead of saying adopted practices, why don't you say consistent with the Alberton Bear Management Plan? Because who's adopted practices? You could ask 1,000 different people out in the world and get vastly different thoughts on what's accepted. And that's actually my biggest concern about this document is that, you know, if I was a resident here and had a garbage can, I could tie the lid down with bungee cord and say, that keeps wildlife out. Now you proved me wrong. And there's nothing in this document that says that would be illegal to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So if the original document described and defined a bear-resistant container, it identified how containers become certified as bear-resistant containers, and that language should be in a garbage ordinance and is in the vast majority of garbage ordinances.
I want to interject as well. We appreciate everything that the Bear Smart community is doing, Bear Aware program, it's great. I think that outside of that, we do need to retain things within the town on a base level that everyone's going to accept regardless. I don't want to see things incrementally working on people like that. I've been a voice of that since the very beginning. I think all of these things are great, but people are and shall be entitled to their own feelings, opinions, and how they want to live their lives. And I know that when you start going a certain direction, those things start to become eroded. And I think that it was written well for the town, for the general public and people. And I am gonna stand firm on, you know, there might be some things that you don't like as this goes on here, but this is not all about Bear Aware and Bear Smart, you can agree.
Yeah, you recall at the last month's meeting when Bear Smart Alberton gave the presentation.
Yes?
I said this is a draft. I've never written an ordinance before. I fully expect you to make some edits to it. And I agree 100%. That's totally within your purview to do that. However, there's a line there that if you cross that line, you're contradicting yourselves because you said you want to be a Bear Smart community. So your ordinance, whatever it is, needs to be consistent with that. Otherwise, just admit, no, we don't want to be a Bear Smart community. I'm all for giving the local public as much freedom as possible, but we are a country of laws. We all have to live by laws.
At what point are we gonna be forced to electric fence all of our gardens and fruit trees and have this?
Like I said last month, that I strongly believe in public education, and garbage is the #1 bear attractant in Alberton. So we need to focus it on it first and get it taken care of. If those other things are a problem, if we continue to have bears in Alberton, I think I said clearly last time that public education is by far the method of choice to deal with that. But I think you would probably recognize that in any population of people, there are going to be people who just resist.
I would like to share this.
I mean, if everybody drove the speed limit without having speed limit laws, we wouldn't need speed limit laws. But that's not the case. And everybody in Alberton is not going to take care of their garbage. They're not going to take care of the other bear attractants. We know that because they've had 100 years to prove they would, and they haven't. So, but public education will go a long ways, and that's where we intend to focus.
I want to remind everybody this, as a guy that spends a lot of time in bear country. This is Alberton. We all live here. We live in western Montana. We live in the heart of a valley that is home to many bears. And that home literally starts less than 100 yards across the street. You know, the river is here. The mountainside is literally out the window. We could be as bear aware as we like, follow the ordinances, do the things. It will never change that they're not going to be here. Period. Just by our location. It's an undeniable reality. And I think that that really needs to be, you know, considered, looked at, be reasonable with the reality.
Yeah, I'm all for being reasonable with the reality, but I have 33 years as a professional wildlife biologist. The last 5, I was the national director of grizzly bear habitat for the whole country, so I know a little bit about bears. Bears do not choose to be around people.
They do not.
Given the choice, they would never be in Alberton. But bears are driven totally by 2 things, food and reproduction. And reproduction is only a small part of the year, so it's primarily food. And they're going to take the easiest route to food. So as long as we have bear attractants in Alberton, there are going to be bears in town. If we get rid of all the attractants in Alberton, there may occasionally be a bear wandering through town, but nothing like we've seen for the last 115 years in Alberton, where every night during late summer, you know, you could have easily a half a dozen bears in town, plowing through people's garbage cans, causing the school to be closed down, bears shot right in front of kids on Main Street. Who wants that? I mean, these are reasonable things to do. Lots of communities have done it or are doing it. And they wouldn't be doing it if it was just some ridiculous thing that's designed to infringe on people's rights. So that's my appeal, and I'll say to you again that you are a sovereign government body. You can vote to do whatever you choose to do. But I would just ask you to not delude yourself into thinking you're going to become a bear smart community if you're unwilling to do the things that are necessary to be a Bear Smart community.
Thank you, Bob. I really appreciate your clarification of that. And I would like to suggest that we continue this conversation at the Thursday meeting, April, what, Bob? What is the Bear Smart meeting?
Last Thursday
Last
of the month.
Thursday, which is April,
I
I don't know what the
date
last
is, but
Thursday's
last
date is,
Thursday of the month.
so last Thursday of the month?
30th.
The 30th, and we will be meeting here in this room. So
Yeah.
anyone who wishes to,
I'm having knee surgery that very day,
oh dear,
so I may or may not, I may be available remotely online, but I'm sure I won't be here in person.
Oh, come on.
Well, Bob, I'd like to, close before we move on and say thank you for your comments, and since you won't be able to attend that meeting, if you could get some notes to us on this draft, because despite what you may think, we are actually interested in being a Bears Park community. So please go ahead and get some notes to us. We want to work with the Bears Park group, and as you know, like, this is
Yeah,
something
and
we're all committed to.
The notes,
If you don't-
the notes won't come from me exclusively, they will come from the Bear Smart Working Group, who has some pretty savvy people, including at least 3 people with many years of bear experience.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Garth?
I just want to say, I'm with Kyle, I live next door to Bob, and we've had the discussions on the bears. I'm an avid bear hunter, I love the bears, and I understand, getting, feeling like you're gonna get your rights stepped on and whatnot. We've had this conversation, but it's not the black bears that I'm too concerned with. It's the grizzly bears that are coming through the 9 Mile area, and, if we get the grizzly bears set up behind us, and they're there, you know that. There's those 2 that are setting up shop that came off of that one south 2 years ago. And I don't like that. I came from the North Montana Canadian border. I came down here to get away from the grizzlies, damn it, 20 years ago. So, but it is being in the woods. I'm a bear hunter. I'm used to it too. I just would like to keep the grizzlies out of town, if I could.
Thank you.
That's all I gotta say.
Thank you. This is
Thank you,
a,
Bob.
this is a hot topic, and it's an important topic.
Yes.
I was hopeful, because it's also a timely topic, that we could perhaps manage to make it through a first reading, but I do apologize to you, Bob, for having botched that you didn't have advance information. Changing Kim?
I have a question on kindergarten regarding community. What is it Bob is looking for in the ordinance? The Bear Smart container, is that your big, because that's not that big a deal, especially since they're not charging for it. Is that?
That's what we're focusing on in the garbage ordinance.
That's
But there are other bear attractants in Alberton.
Absolutely.
A number of them.
And you were taking
As I
care
say,
of a lot of
garbage
those.
is the biggest and most important one.
So a Bear Smart container, that doesn't seem like that big a ask. Especially since it doesn't cost any money, extra money. No? Okay.
No.
Thank you, Kim. Okay. Moving on then to the next agenda item, purchase
Money.
used dump trailer for Roads Park Water.
We're still out of meeting.
Long story.
Oh dear.
Yeah, what?
Hi, Monty.
Okay, do you want me to give a little spiel about the
Yeah.
dump trailer?
I've requested that the council people peek at it on their way in the trailer.
Okay.
Yes,
The dump trailer.
we'll see you.
So Jim Hansen, had a 12-foot dump trailer. It is 10,000 pound rated. The actual trailer itself weighs like 3,500, so we can haul 6,500 pounds in it. Tandem axle. It is sitting out in the parking lot. He's willing to sell it to the town of Alberton for $3,000. We removed all of this with it. It works exceptionally well. I would really like to advocate that the council votes to buy a used dump trailer for $3,000.
How big is it?
12-foot. It's the single ram.
Town better buy it or I will.
Yeah, dude, yeah. So that's what that is, and it's out there if you want to go look at it. But
I'll make a motion that we approve the
I
purchase of
will be the
that
second.
trailer.
awesome.
Okay, Marvin has made the motion and Kyle has seconded it, but I was gonna ask if anybody else has questions or comments before we
sorry,
move for a motion. That's okay. You're excited about getting the trailer. Did anyone have question, comment?
Does it
Karen?
work well?
It does
Like,
work
does
well.
it dump and,
Yep.
is it a double axle?
It's double axle. Yep. Yeah.
And rubber on the tires?
The tires it's
Questionable.
those.
Big new tires.
It could use new tires for sure. There is that, but
Great price.
gates open. It's not. Yes, it works. So yeah.
Any additional comments on the trailer? We have a motion then on the floor to approve the $3,000 purchase. Motion by Marvin, second by Kyle. Sharon?
I say yes.
Marvin?
Yes.
Kyle?
Yes.
Tim?
I say yes.
Motion carries.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Yeah, we have a new trailer. And just to call attention that it says Roads Park Water, this is an accounting thing, that it will be, the cost will be spread out to the 3 different accounts. Next item is road maintenance abatement spray and car removal for county street sweeping. Charlie, did you want to talk about this?
Sure. In terms of road maintenance and abatement spray, we've talked to Lyman Abatement. They will be down here to take a look at our new roads and really all of the roads, but for spraying dust control, I don't have, that'll be in mid-April, so they're gonna get a hold of me and come have a look at that, and we will get some numbers for that. And the street sweeping, I believe there's you guys might have a letter.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are going to try to make a pretty good push on moving all the vehicles this year for when the county comes and does the big street sweep. They will absolutely work with us in terms of one side of the street and then the other side of the street. We would really like to get railroad avenues swept tip to tip this year in shiny fashion, if at all possible. So that's that.
Can I add a small piece?
Yeah.
Certainly.
The letter is to give people a heads up that this is coming. We know that there's some cars that sit on the street year round, aren't moved. And I want to give those people time to be able to get those moved so that we can really get this place, all the mud and everything cleaned up. So that's what the letter that the council has. It's anticipation of learning the date that it's happening, and then we'll do a whole nother, social media deal, post it everywhere, let everybody know what's going on.
And so this is the nice letter, and then we're gonna send the mean one, right?
Something like that,
Hopefully send a nice letter.
yeah.
Does this include the side streets?
No, because they're mud, they're dirt.
Okay.
This is, and besides Department of, the county transportation only
just-
does railroad,
Okay.
yeah.
The town owns a street sweeper that we can hook up to the Bobcat. We do the parking lot out here, we do it usually twice a year, at least once. So we can look into doing that. And
The side streets?
yeah, parkways paved, for sure. Yeah,
Well, I was thinking the treatment, it says here
yes. The treatment is for the dirt roads.
right.
Yes,
Yeah,
to
okay.
nail those down.
And so we'll get a notice to move our vehicles if the part of that, close to that,
Sure.
like where my cards are.
Yes, yep.
So I can move those.
Yep, we'll make sure.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
So, is there any action required for that, Charlie? Just the notifying and awareness of what the notice would be like?
I don't think so. Like I said, that lineman, they're gonna be out here, in a week or two, and I will come back with numbers for the next meeting, and we can talk about all the stuff at that point in terms of the abatement.
Okay.
County street sweeping, I don't know if we need to vote on whether or not to send out a letter. I think we should just go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, wanted to be sure that the council was aware of what the letter was gonna
Yeah.
say. And
Good, thank you.
Sure.
be made aware.
Thank you.
So the next item, STIP short-term investment pool annual certification resolution. There was supposed to be something in your packets, but I'm not sure what happened to it. So
I think it is, it's here.
you got it, okay, I didn't get it.
I got it.
So Shannon's gonna
I got
talk
it,
about
too.
this.
Oh, okay.
Charlie, yeah.
Charlie's got some extras. Okay, so what this is, STIP is our short-term investment pool, and this kind of came at a good time. What it's doing is asking for an annual certification. Well, our representative and our delegates need to change. So the proposal is more that Lorene will be the authorized representative. Once we have a representative, they have to be appointed by resolution. Once we have that, that representative can add or delete delegates without a resolution. So can't put myself as it because I'm interim and not going to be here. So that's why we have the whole resolution is to assign it to Lorene so that we can then add the new town clerk when that person comes on.
Or others as is deemed
Yes,
appropriate.
needed, yes.
So.
So is this the resolution or is this just the?
That's the letter, we've got the resolution.
Yeah. Would you like to read the?
I will say the resolution is from STIP.
Yes.
So this is what they require us to do.
Read it, or do you want me to read it?
I can read it. Resolution authorizing participation in the Montana Board of Investments and Short-Term Investment Pool and authorizing the execution and delivery of documents related thereto. Be it resolved by the Town Council, the governing body of the Town of Alberton, the participant as follows. Article 1, definitions. The following terms have the meanings indicated below for purposes of this resolution unless the context clearly requires otherwise. Account means participant's bank account to be used in conducting STIP program transactions. Agreement means the agreement of the participant pertained within this resolution. Authorized representative means the officer or official of the participant designated and authorized by the governing body to act on behalf of participant in the STIP program. Authorized delegate means any officer, official, or employee of the participant delegated authority by the authorized representative to initiate transactions using the STIP program. Bank means a financial institution designated and authorized to send and receive money on behalf of the participant for purposes of participation in the STIP program. Board means the Board of Investments, a state agency organized and existing under the laws of the state. Exhibit A means the STIP participation information sheet attached to and incorporated into this resolution as provided in Article 4, Section 3.01. Exhibit B, which is not attached to this because they already have it, means the electronic funds transfer authorization form attached to and incorporated into this resolution as provided by Article 4, Section 3.01. Governing body means the governing body of political subdivision participant authorized by Montana state law to participate in the STIP program. Participant means the political subdivision requiring participation in the board's STIP program. Short-term investment pool means the board's investment program administered under the direction of the Board of Investments is authorized by the United Investment Program and is more fully defined and described by the Montana Code annotated and in the board's governing policies. Short-term investment pool is synonymous with STIP and program as used in this resolution and Exhibits A and B. Short-term investment pool participation agreement, section 1.01, participation agreement. The governing body requests participation in the STIP program and agrees that participant will comply with and be bound by all laws, policies, procedures, and participation requirements applicable to the program as may be amended from time to time. Section 1.02, STIP program. STIP is available to state and local governments to serve their short-term cash flow and deposit needs. The program's objectives are to preserve capital and maintain high liquidity. The program has the following attributes. 1. STIP transactions are fixed at $1 per share. 2. STIP interest on pool assets accrued daily. 3. STIP earnings distribution methods are A. Interest is distributed at the beginning of the month and can be distributed as cash to the designated bank, or B. Earnings can be reinvested into STIP. 4. Buying or selling shares in STIP requires 1 business day notice. Transactions for which notice is received after 2 p.m. will be processed 2 business days after receipt of the original notice. 5. Access to STIP is only through the board's electronic web-based portal. No cash checks or notifications by fax, phone, or email will be accepted. 6. The board's STIP web portal provides real-time information on each account, including investment balances, buys, sells, pending transactions, and transaction notes as determined by the authorized user. And 7. The board supports the short-term investment pool on a net asset value, NAV, basis on its financial statements. An NAV per share of STIP will be reflected on the board's website for each month-end period. Section 1.03, review of policies, procedures, and participation requirements. Participant requests that it has reviewed to its satisfaction all board policies, procedures, and participation requirements available to the STIP program. See board governance policies 40.600, 40.601, and 40.602. Section 1.04, authorized representative. The governing body designates Lorene M. Felstadt, who holds the position of mayor, as the participant's authorized representative to execute transactions between STIP and the bank. The governing body does allow authorized representative to appoint and remove additional authorized delegate on behalf of the participant. If does is checked, which we did, any additional removal of an authorized delegate requires notice via the submission of a completed Exhibit A, STIP participation information sheet, to the board by the authorized representative before transactions will be accepted and processed. The governing body designates and authorizes the participant's bank, the bank, identified in Exhibit B with the account number and American Bankers Association, ABA number, for settlement of STIP participant transactions. The account is a checking account, not a savings. Governing body does allow the authorized representative to change either the bank or the account. If does is checked, the board will notify both the office of the authorized representative and the office of the governing body within 3 business days that such a change has been made. The governing body does not allow the authorized representative to change the earnings distribution method. If does not is checked, the governing body chooses the following earnings distribution method. Check 1, reinvest cash earnings into STIP, which we have checked, or distribute cash earnings to the bank. We're choosing to reinvest. Section 1.05, change of authorized representative. Any change to the authorized representative requires a new resolution adopted by the governing body. However, the absence of an authorized representative does not nullify the current authority of the authorized delegates to make the STIP transactions. Section 1.06, Annual Certification. The board will annually confirm with the governing body and the authorized representative the number 1, name of the authorized representative, number 2, name or names of any authorized delegates, and 3, name of the bank and the associated account numbers truncated. Section 1.07, Effective Date. Participants' agreement will take effect when the resolution certificate, this resolution, and completed executed Exhibits A and B are received by the board. The participants' agreement will stay in effect until terminated in writing by the governing body. Article 2, Miscellaneous. Section 2.01, No Guaranteed Return. The governing body understands and agrees there's no minimum or maximum interest rate or any guaranteed rate of return on STIP shares or funds invested in STIP shares. Section 2.02, Voluntary Participation. By adopting this resolution, the governing body acknowledges that it is not compelled to participate in STIP. That its participation in STIP is voluntary and agrees to the board's administration and governance of the program according to the board's policies, procedures, and participation requirements. Section 2.03, Responsibility for participant mistakes. The governing body and participant agree to hold harmless the state of Montana, the board, and the board's members, officials, and employees for the acts, omissions, mistakes, and negligence of the participant, governing body, and their members, officials, and employees, including but not limited to an authorized representative or authorized delegate who, for any reason, is not qualified or mistakenly listed with the board as a permissible representative to authorize transactions using the STIP program, incorrect instructions as to the amounts or timings of sales or purchases, or missed deadlines. Section 2.04, No Warranty. The governing body and participant agree that the board makes no warranty that funds will be immediately available in the event of any failure of a third party, or that governing body will not suffer losses due to the acts of God, natural disasters, terrorism or threats of terrorism, civil disorder, medical epidemics or other calamities, or other market dislocations or interruptions. Section 2.05, Participation Conditions, STIP Administration. The governing body and participant acknowledge and agree that the board will allow participation in STIP by and conduct STIP business with only those parties it determines are qualified and authorized to participate in the program who abide by the board's policies, procedures, and participation requirements. The governing body and participant understand that the board administers the STIP program subject to Montana law and prudent fiduciary practices as required by Montana law and board policy, and that the board is legally charged to maintain the Unified Investment Program, which includes STIP, in accordance with the prudent expert rule as set forth in Montana law. Section 2.0 STIP. 2.06 STIP not insured against loss. The governing body and participant understand and acknowledge that the board's STIP program is not FDIC insured or otherwise insured or guaranteed by the federal government, the state of Montana, the board, or any other entity against investment losses. Article 3, Exhibits A and B, Section 3.01, Approval and Adoption of Exhibits A and B. Attached to this resolution are Exhibit A, the STIP Participation Information Sheet, and Exhibit B, the Electronic Funds Transfer Authorization Form, which together provide the instructions required by the board to enable participants' participation in the STIP program. The governing body and participant represent that Exhibits A and B have been completed and executed by the participant's authorized representative, and that Exhibits A and B must be complete and accepted by the board before participation is allowed in the STIP program. Exhibits A and B are hereby incorporated into and made part of this resolution and are approved and adopted by the governing body as set forth fully herein. And then I have the information sheet.
I apologize, that was a bit long-winded, but in the interest of transparency that I have made the commitment to this community, it seemed important to share this. Currently, Nancy is the authorized representative and Anna Duke is the authorized delegate. And this is the recommendation that was received when we contacted them to correct that, so that then moving forward, it would be easier for us to work with this.
I would like to say that I would have really appreciated all of that on paper.
Me too.
That was a lot to take in,
It certainly
and I
was.
would have kept up with that a little more had I had that in person.
Good comment. Yeah, we have a lot to coordinate into our packets tonight, so I apologize that we voted to keep it simple, but.
It was done last year too.
And it was done last year to change this, okay. So with that, do you feel comfortable making a motion that we do the resolution?
So by my hearing of that, nothing is changing except for the representative.
Correct.
Removal of the prior representative and delegate, and right now it's just going to be Mayor Felstat as the representative. Yes.
I have no problem making that resolution. I'd like to move that we approve it.
I'll second it.
Thank you. It's been motioned by Tim and seconded by Marvin. Sharon?
Yes.
Marvin?
Yes.
Kyle?
Yes.
Tim?
I say yes.
Thank you. Appreciate everyone's patience. Moving on then to the community center deck and patio replacement by Charlie. And I called it to the council's attention when they came tonight to be sure and take a peek at that.
Right, so basically what we're looking for is, now that it has finally been dismantled, what do you wanna see out there? We can go, my recommendation would be either Trex or get some dump truck loads of sand, smooth it all out and run pavers. Yeah, pavers or Trex. Pavers will be much cheaper. Marvin looked into the cost a little bit. I don't think we have any super hard numbers. The Trex will be definitely more expensive and I feel like less labor intensive. I feel like the pavers will be significantly less in terms of material costs and more labor intensive.
What is a Trex?
Trex is like that plastic composite deck.
Yeah, no. I like the idea of pavers. I think that sounds nice and it fits with the overall vibe.
Okay.
Will they be good for drainage?
Yeah, I think we can make that happen. Yeah, and the overhang on this building is pretty awesome as well.
Yeah.
I don't think that, we're not gonna invert it this way for sure.
Yeah. You
My
never know.
vote would also be for pavers.
With pavers, okay,
Yeah.
yeah, sure.
That sounds great.
I have a question regarding accessibility, if it's Trex or pavers,
Yeah,
the drop off, how that gets handled to make it accessible to.
right, that is one big concern that we've heard that these two front doors, people don't really like to, like the ADA compliance, and I feel like we can make that happen better out here for sure.
Well, I'm sorry to say, but if we're gonna make that porch, deck, patio, whatever it is, accessible, then we have to have a sidewalk from that deck out to the walking path, so that a wheelchair can make it all the way, right?
Makes sense?
So we have to
That would
consider,
be ADA compliant,
yeah,
Well,
ability to get to it in order to use this.
right, if the ramp would be great, but if you have to travel through grass and
Sure.
Well, if,
vegetation to get there, it's not gonna work.
if it came off this way, could you connect it to the sidewalk that is out of the library?
Could if there wasn't a propane tank in the back.
you don't need that.
So do we need more
There's not
time?
enough room
There's enough
for
room.
the propane tank in the,
If we did move the propane tank, it used to be on the other side of the black tar, the line was run underneath, and, in terms, it was screwed to the side of the railroad ties out here, so in the destruction of all that, they came, they swung it over next to the building, Tempe set it for the weekend, they reset it, we dug the trench, and it is currently where it is to be. Unless we need to do something else, but I think we can make all things happen. I don't know if, you know, just in terms of the ADA compliance, maybe this is just a better option. We need to rehab this whole situation right here and then just have that as a back deal and not worry about trying to pour a concrete patio or deal. But I'm not opposed to, I think we can go any which way about it, for sure.
But I
But,
like the idea of pavers back there, just
Okay.
from an aesthetic perspective, and
Yeah.
I'd love to hear when you've done some more research on which entryway we want to make compliant.
okay, good call.
Okay.
So the item remains on the agenda.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll revisit it next time.
Can't we
Or
move
unless you
forward?
want to move
Okay.
forward, right?
I feel like pavers would be a really great place to vote on if that's what everybody would like to see. That way we can continue and not let it drag out
I
anymore.
want to go forward.
Okay,
I'll
sweet.
second it. Yeah, we'll continue to address the, accessibility issues as we can.
We trust you guys to make good decisions.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
So Kyle has moved to move forward, but no specifics?
No, with pavers.
Oh, with
Right.
pavers.
With pavers.
Yes.
Okay, and that was seconded by
Me.
Martin. Okay, thank you. Sharon,
Okay, I agree.
you agree?
Yeah.
Marvin,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Tim,
It's a yes for me.
thank you. Okay, next item on the list then, thank you for moving that forward, will be the town cleanup.
Before you move on,
Yes, sir.
sorry.
Yes,
As far as ADA compliance goes,
Yes.
is one entrance suitable?
that's a good question.
Should be.
I think we should look at
I
that.
believe it is one entrance
Okay,
in and out of the
all
door.
right.
Let's be sure of that.
That's something we should clarify
Right.
before we make
Pretty
any final
simple.
decisions.
Particularly because this is the senior center and accessibility is,
Yeah, and it was also brought to my attention, walking with Ty from Morrison and Merrily, that if the sidewalk is not 48 inches wide, it is not ADA compliant, so I'm pretty sure that that would not qualify either, but it's, I was like, we just want to move forward and make things awesome.
One step at a time.
One step at a time, okay,
and it's my
Sorry to
understanding,
interrupt you.
you're fine,
yeah.
that this is identified as a historic building, and so we would have to understand what those limits or parameters are as well to adhere to
Sure.
those clauses. Okay, very good.
Thank you.
Next item then is the town cleanup, scheduled for April 22nd through the 25th. The gremlin in the office managed to make the cards that say till April 26th. But we'll be here on Sunday if that's what's required. So this will be very similar to last year, and the cards, we spent days, it seems, trying to get labels printed out so that we can print these out. Maybe we can pass one out to see, have the audience see. It's the third annual cleanup, and the gremlin also managed to get on there that it's maybe the fourth, but it really is the third. So similar to last year, we're going to get dumpsters that will be on a first come, first served basis to be able to clean up things that people have in their yards. This is not household waste, but we will be able to take not tires, not TVs, not paint, oil, or solvents. If you have those types of items, the hazardous waste can be taken at any time to Home Resource. They have a hazardous collection there. But we will be taking refrigerators, AC units, computer monitors. Those will have a $25 acceptance fee, disposal fee. And in order to pay that, you need to come to the town office between office hours. We will also take at no charge any electronics, that's basically anything with a cord, including keyboards, appliances, bicycles, batteries, etc., similar to like we did last year. The time is 9 to 5, starting on Wednesday, which is Earth Day, and going through Arbor Day, which is Friday. And so watch for the cards to come out into the mail, and lots of calls coming to the office asking questions. And hopefully we'll have volunteers. I know Wayne Morse in the past from the community church has helped haul loads. The town has hauled loads, and there was a $10 fee for people that needed help getting things to the collection by having the town come and help with the hauling.
Okay, great.
Any comments or questions?
None?
Okay, we'll move on to talk about the utility billing rate fees, connection and disconnection fees, as well as penalties. And there's nothing in your packet about this? This was Shannon, or did you? Oh, that's this one. Thank you, Shannon. We were out of order. It's page 23 that you have open like this. Proposal here.
Okay, so in doing utility billing this month, we have approximately 210 accounts, not including the town of Alberton's accounts. We also pay for our water. Of those 210 accounts, we have approximately 18 of them who are over 120 days due. We went back 6 years and looked in the utility billing, and nobody is charged a penalty or interest or anything. And I know that a lot of that had to stop around the COVID time. So we are bringing it to the council's attention because we would like a little bit of help from the council. I believe that a decision had been made for penalties and interest, and that, not just the rates, but those sort of things. Like if you get disconnected from your water and you need to be reconnected, there has to be a fee. It's a town employee going to do it. They're spending their time, their money. So we are asking the council to look through old paperwork or try and remember when it happened. Give us something to narrow down maybe what time period to look for this. But I think it's necessary. There is no reason to have that many accounts over 120 days, number one. Number two, there are resources, and I would like to be able to notify those people that are that far in arrears that there is help available. But you have to communicate with us. So that's pretty much where I stood, but I want to bring it to the council's attention because it's not going to get better on its own.
For council members who have been on council for a while, do you recall, was it something that there was action voted on?
Yes, it was.
There was,
Yes,
vaguely,
yeah,
but it was, the fees were really low.
right.
I think we agreed on $25.
That's what I remember.
It was
And then there
1.5%,
One and a
because
half
that's what the power company does, 1.5%, that's what Blackfoot Telephone. If I remember correctly, it was which is still a small amount, but it's something.
So was this not something that's like part of our water policy or?
I think they amended it, it
Yeah,
came up at discussion in the
Yeah.
last couple of years.
We haven't been enforced.
It's never been enforced.
I see.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I suppose now's the time to start enforcing it, you know? We have the,
Correct me if
The
I'm wrong,
rules.
this was
So
starting reading books.
it,
Like, yeah, it was when Chelsea was working for the town.
yeah,
After she left, you know, it's,
yes, I see, correct.
And that
no, I
was
did.
also-
Marvin hit it on the head. When I first started and Leslie was here and Chelsea was in the office as well, Chelsea got on top of it. We were in the range of $40,000 in the deficit of people that owed bills. She got that, I believe, very close to wiped out completely. It was amazing. I only had to go and shut off like 2-ish different people, and because things were not super straight and clear, we did not charge like, my time to go out there and shut them off and then turn them back on. So I believe the topic is like, we would like to get a, either come up with these fees or somewhere to look to identify if this already has been talked about and what those are, and get that nailed down, and then restart that enforcement process for sure. Yeah.
I haven't seen any of this stuff in a long time. So, let me get this straight. So, we did cover this.
Yes.
We agreed on fees. They were working on getting accounts rectified. That was the last I heard of it. So, we still have accounts that are open, that are unpaid and all the things.
It is accrued since that point, basically. So we're talking midsummer of 24, and then Leslie resigned, Nancy came on, Nancy was getting her bearings, or whatever, and then accounts started falling behind. This is where we didn't have that communication of like, this needs to be on the forefront and be stamped out. So then now it's been this long. So now it's kind of like, we need to reestablish that front and move forward from here indefinitely.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, that is concerning, we're not gonna be taken seriously.
Yeah.
As this was something that was already started, so
It was started and it was also completed to a great degree by Chelsea and.
but not 100%.
Not 100%, no. But then COVID occurred, and then now the amounts have ramped back up again. It's time to hit it again.
This is.
Chelsea was sitting.
Yeah, COVID was first.
I misspoke,
Yeah.
it started with that, but.
Yeah, I don't have eyeballs on everybody's water account all the time, and I just,
Sure, the
there was-
system changed, all things.
yeah.
I'm only slightly disappointed that this has not been brought up since, that I was under the impression we were
Yep, sending
clean,
letters.
clear, and sending letters and doing the due diligence. And the fact that we have not that is a huge problem.
Well, in Nancy's defense, I would say she was overwhelmed. The job was kind of thrown at her, she wasn't trained, and she had so many things to learn and work through. So she just set this aside.
Yeah, so,
She didn't mean any harm.
No.
right, and we're not trying to point blame here.
No blame.
No.
What
So
you're
We
asking
just need to move forward and get her done.
Yeah, so I don't know if there's a resolution, right?
One at a time.
So what Shannon's asking, I think, is for me to go back through, or one of us, to go back through and find out when it was
Yes.
voted on and.
What was voted on.
Right. All of
Yeah,
that can be put into the software, and the software does it on its own, but I need what those policies are to be able to enter it and therefore have it do its thing.
And I'm pretty sure we did a resolution.
You should be able to find those in the minutes.
Exactly.
It was just give us a better idea of when we're looking,
Yes.
if we
Within
can.
2 years ago,
It was.
Charlie had just started.
Yeah.
So it was about when you started.
March
And I
24th.
think we could all be in agreement, so this probably wasn't even something that needed to come across our desk here, but just within the office itself. Since this has already been a handled matter, that's obviously coming back, but
Well, we wanted to call to your attention so that you are aware, again, in the light of being transparent. We've got lots of things going on, and there's some serious things that need to be taken care of.
Okay, well, thank you for bringing this up. Yeah, we'll look forward to hearing the resolution of this.
Very good. Does anyone have questions, additional comments before we
I do
move on?
I have a question.
Yeah,
So this is all taken care of from what I'm listening to 2 years ago. And I'm listening to Kyle because he's worried that it hasn't been done. whose responsibility is it, the council or the government of Alberton, to check in to make sure these things are executed properly and actually go forward? Is it the town giving Kyle and the council semi-quarterly updates on everything? Or is it the council's job to ask the city to tell them what's going on?
It's slightly both, but it is actually my responsibility to oversee that the projects are completed, but as you know, I'm brand new. So as these things are coming to light and we're seeing what's going on, I want to be sure the council is aware of what's going on, because they're the ones that have the authority to vote and take action.
Right, but if those
And take
mechanisms
action
aren't put in
back
place, this can happen again. Because
Right.
there's no outwardly identifiable, this is how we communicate.
Right, that's what we're trying to set forward here, and saying that I'm fully fessing up here to that we didn't know this was the case until now, and now that we're aware, we're moving forward, taking action in ways that fit within each of our jurisdictions and what we can do to get it taken care of properly, and rather than reinventing it, have a new resolution, starting over again. There's been a resolution already. We want to identify what that is, what it says, so that we can then move forward. And we will be reporting on it again next month to let you know what we found, what we're doing. And I have a number of resources to offer to people that are having problems. And I personally will be meeting with people who need help getting their bill caught up and helping them to figure that out. So it's going to be a coordination between myself and the clerk with the knowledge and awareness of the council moving forward of what's happening. Thank you for that question.
That was a good question.
Yeah, indeed. Appreciate that, Chris. All right, moving forward then to the next item on the list, and this is my recommendation to the council regarding, after I went through, we've had 9 resumes now, and the interviews that we have. I have an individual to recommend, and from the schooling that I have received regarding proper HR method in which this information can be shared, can't have the individual's name on here, you guys don't have copies. I'm going to read the highlighted parts because it was said in the past that you were unaware of the clerk's qualifications or reason why the past clerk was hired. And so with my recommendations, I'm going to read the highlighted ones. I have a spot for you all to sign once I pass this around for you to see of the council. And the list of the questions that were asked. So in terms of core professional qualifications, we have in operations and general management. This individual has over 25 years of experience in managing business operations with a history of supervising up to 50 employees, proven ability to streamline workflows, troubleshooting operational issues, and managing day-to-day functions across multiple industries. Executive administration was supporting boards of directors, that supports us, and I'm skipping over. Bookkeeping was over 20 years of bookkeeping experience. Financial reporting was proficient in preparing and presenting key financial statements, including budgets, profits and loss, cash flow, and balance sheets. Accounting functions included skilled at accounts payable, accounts receivable, payroll processing, bank reconciliation, auditing books for compliance and managing petty cash, tax preparation, experience preparing documentation for annual filings, like for instance, Form 990s. In terms of industry-specific experience, was nonprofit experience as an executive administrator, including financial oversight, board reporting, and regulatory compliance. Manufacturing and FDA compliance, experience with managing projects relating to FDA compliance, because of course you know we have grants, and our the tower project is an EPA grant, or EPA, did I say the right word? EPA?
Yeah.
Great, okay.
Or ARPA.
ARPA. And so then again, regarding manufacturing and compliance, creating regulatory policies, overseeing quality control, human resources, timekeeping, payroll, project management, experience in managing complex projects, communication is strong written and verbal communication skills with experience in public speaking, marketing, material production, and website design, customer service, extensive background in customer-facing roles with a track record of improving customer satisfaction and ratings. So with this, I am recommending the hiring of the individual that I interviewed. With Shannon's help, I asked Shannon for the interviews to describe the position because she's doing the job now. I then asked the questions of the individuals that came for the interviews, and the individual I am recommending stood head and shoulders above the rest, and these are the highlights of that individual's qualifications. So with that, I'd like to recommend to the council that we hire Jaylene Rowley as our new town clerk.
Did you get references?
From past employers, from people that, personal references as well.
Great. So she's not lying, she's telling the
No,
truth.
and I prepared an offer letter that included the information that this individual will be subject to a background check, and they have agreed to that. And so, moving forward, I think that we are going to be sitting in a good position. Shannon has taken over this position, and we're going to talk more about that in just a minute. And done some remarkable work.
We're voting on
If you-
whether we're gonna hire her.
Well, I essentially have the power to hire this individual, but in order for there to not be later on, gee, nobody said what this person's qualifications are. Nobody said why you chose this person. Why is this person qualified to do this job? So I highlighted those qualifications from documentation that was provided for the interview.
So do we have to make a motion?
No, that's.
You can sign the sheet, and as far as I'm aware, we can move forward then. Andy?
I would just like to add, whoever you guys hire, I would offer to provide some zoning training. I know this
Wonderful.
This job is mostly
I'd like to
accounting,
attend as well.
but
Thank you.
but a part of their job is zoning clerk, and so I would be happy to sit down with them and kind of go over the nuances of that stuff. So
Excellent.
thanks very much.
Thank you, Andy.
Thank
I
you.
really
Very
appreciate
kind.
that. I think that that's definitely specific to this job, and I'm very grateful that you've made that offer. Thank you. Okay, so moving forward then,
Are you sure we don't need a motion for
I've already made the hire. I'm asking for your blessing.
this? Oh, okay, sorry.
And that's my
Marlene
understanding. It's not
dated
fair.
that.
Thank you, Andy.
Thank you, Andy.
Today's the 7th. With that, I'd also like to recommend to the council that we continue retaining the interim clerk, Shannon Cuneo, for vacations, sick pay, projects, etc. And I have here Shannon's qualifications.
No, I like it.
No, because I thought maybe we could read the whole thing, and actually Shannon is going to.
Okay.
If that's okay with you. And I have one thing to say when you're finished.
Okay. Super quick, just about myself, just because what makes me qualified to sit here, right? I have 30 plus years doing small business accounting, not government, slightly different beast, very similar. I also have HR and payroll experience. I do all state and federal tax reporting. At the end of the year, I shuffle my information to the CPA so that they are able to do a federal tax return. The town of Alberton does not do a federal tax return. Just want to let you know. But I've got basically experience in doing all of that. Due to working and owning small businesses, I've pretty much done everything over the years that has anything to do with office or business work. And so that's what I brought to the table coming in just cold to this position. And I was able to pretty much work it fairly well. That's all I have on myself at the moment. Do you want me to do yeah.
That's fine, because the council has the basic stuff.
Yeah.
What I want to share is that because we've been spending a bit of time on the phone with the MMIA, the League of Cities and Towns, and the local government center, we always consult with what's referred to as the two Jodies. There's two Jodies that are in the accounting department that are a tremendous amount of help to us. And in some of those conversations, it was commented that Shannon was a seamless walk-in. Seamless walk-in, which meant she sat at that desk, took over that job, and had no problems with understanding what needed to be done, and then knowing for the things that she didn't know specifically how to do, she contacted the organizations we are a member of, and there's so many things that we have done. 5 town clerks were removed from the accounting and payroll, as well as from our financial accounts. That's a huge liability right there. We're talking 5 town clerks in the history of this town were still able to access those. I think that's a huge thing that we accomplished. The paper filing is years behind. Electronic filings are a bit of a disaster as well, but that I'm definitely just doing highlights now. But in the end, we're seeing we are now current. We have things that have been submitted. We have penalties that we are being charged because of payroll taxes that were paid, but the quarterly filings were not done on a timely basis. This is something
Nor the
Shannon
payment.
understands.
Nor the payment.
And so that totaled $4,233.97 in terms of penalties and interest, which I'm not very happy about, but it's what we discovered. There's a number of other things that we've discovered, and in the interest of, we want to be transparent, but there's also things that we have to be very careful of sharing because they're sensitive. The council has the printed information.
Right.
So I'd like to recommend that we still have Shannon available. She can help train the new clerk. I think that it would be a wise idea to, and if, God forbid, anything changes that the clerk deems she can't, the new clerk that we've hired can't, then Shannon is still available to us. So just as a cover all bases and make sure that we can continue to be moving forward and taking care of the things that we need to take care of.
And this is something that you want to do.
Let me be clear. I have enjoyed my time there, and I actually like working with the public and all of that. I do books for small businesses right now, and I have had a lot of them, some of them for 30 years. So doing that and town clerk is a little too much. So more than willing to do fill in, that sort of thing, but no, I don't want to take the position over. Yeah.
I see no problem with this. It makes sense. It's good to have someone on retainer, and you've done good work, so it's represent for me. Do we need to move to approve this, or are we good to go?
I think we're good to go unless there is concern that we're doing something that we shouldn't.
I feel like maybe there could be a concern, there's an overstaffing problem, but based on the amount of work that we've got that needs done to get us up above board, and also just to keep our doors open, I think this is a reasonable thing to do.
Thank you. And I will make a comment here too about, our policy is to limit and to actually not have overtime. And so that was something that happened a lot. And so we didn't say anything about the turning over of the payroll.
Yeah, let me just do a quick, when I first came on, it was brought to my attention that the League of Towns and Cities are able to do the accounting and the payroll. They don't do utility billing. They are $65 an hour, which is not expensive for what they're doing. If you would like an example, I charge $90 to $120 an hour for doing small business books. Okay, so 65 is not expensive. The league can do it faster, therefore cheaper, and they stay in compliance at all times.
We stay in compliance.
Therefore, we stay in compliance, yes. I really don't see any argument not to have them do it. Now, granted, the clerk position still gets a little back and forth. Clerk has to turn in the timesheets for the payroll, that sort of thing. Coding for the claims will be a joint. But other than that, they will be involved in they have been and will continue to be, if they're doing our accounting, involved in our budget process also, which I think does nothing but behoove us.
Okay, so just so I can get this straight,
Yep.
I'm not arguing at all, I think this all sounds nice, but right now we're hearing a recommendation that you continue as interim town clerk.
As needed.
As needed.
Available,
Great.
yes.
Yes.
Okay, I like that. And in addition, there was now a mention of turning over our payroll and accounting to the League of Towns and Cities.
Yes.
Is that something that we would need a more official resolution presented to the council to
No.
approve?
No. We actually already have a contract with the league, and we already are paying the league to assist the clerk and do some of this, but now you.
And that's what this sheet is.
Yes.
Correct. So
This talks
So
about.
this is just informing us that the administrative body, which is the town office, is going to be shifting that to an entity we already employ. Great.
Correct.
Okay, that sounds
I do want to say one more thing. I believe that 24 hours work week is not enough to do accounting, payroll, utility billing, and town business. So if we take away payroll and accounting, I believe that 24 hours could very likely include the rest of it just fine after the cleanup period.
All right, and the 24 hours is the office hours that we have.
That's the 9 to 3, Monday through Thursday.
Correct.
Yes.
Well, that makes sense to me. Good job, thank you.
And that's number 4B on your page here. Think about that.
Well, a moment ago, someone said something about overtime.
Yes,
And when I put her on the side,
yeah.
what were you trying to?
The point I was trying to make, and this is also, as you are collecting your past claims and payroll documentation that was provided to you in the past that you shouldn't actually have, you can keep that, Kyle. I really want to encourage the council to look over the pay and how much it was overtime pay incurred on top of league time in order to train, that I'm seeing we're not going to need those charges in the future moving forward.
Okay.
Well, I've always been on the understanding that all of the employees of the town are part-time permanent positions.
That is correct.
How can part-time employees get overtime?
I'd like to know that, because it was approved by the council month after month after month.
Well, I questioned it
You
time
did.
after time
You
after
did
time, and
question
didn't get
it.
any answers.
And I'm sorry that you didn't receive answers. So, this is an unfortunate factor of our past, and moving forward that I have made movement to correct by having the new clerk, is hired as a 24-hour-a-week position to be evaluated as we move forward.
Shannon just pointed out 24 hours a week isn't enough to perform those duties.
With payroll and,
Yes,
Oh, I'm
as
sorry.
it was,
I'm
yes.
sorry.
payable and receivable,
Taking
yes.
those off,
I misinterpreted.
which has always been an issue
You're
the
fine.
whole time.
Correct,
So,
correct.
so
Good
does that
clarification.
include Charlie being permanent part-time? Or
Charlie
does he get overtime? He can
Charlie
get
is
overtime.
permanent part-time. Okay, so either people, anyone who is permanent part-time, when you get to over 40 hours, you do earn time and a half. But my point being, when the position is a 24-hour-a-week position, why was there so much overtime? And that was your question as well, consistently, Marvin, but you never received an answer.
Correct. Well,
And it was my bone of contention then that I
Yeah.
felt
yeah,
that
he-
needed to be
he-
corrected.
He brought it up,
Indeed,
yeah,
indeed.
and no
So
answer.
just to contrast that then with the charges that we will have moving forward with the league, a clerk, and we have predicted it will be quite a bit less than.
Yes, because don't forget, you guys were paying the clerk and you were paying the league.
right.
We always have been for a long time.
We
Yeah.
were overpaying the clerk.
It's been
Yes.
talked about.
Right.
Yeah.
So what about Charlie? Is 24 hours a week?
No.
No, that's
Charlie
not
is
his
not on
position.
a 24-hour week.
Okay.
Charlie
Well, that
is
was-
24/7.
Well,
He's.
Well, that was-
I was gonna say, I mean, there is no way, I see this guy out there at 9 o'clock at night.
No, the 24-hour work week is the hours of the office.
Of the office.
That's where that originated. So we're going to be evaluating that moving forward and keeping it as close to that time as we can. And part of that was removing the accounting that can be accomplished by the league and keep us in compliance. And then as time goes on, that may then change back. But for now, this is the best way to keep us as budget-minded as possible. And that's gonna be coming up here in the next couple months that we're talking about budget.
Okay, cool.
Chris?
The other angle that actually was brought up is to get somebody hired for that clerk position with all of the responsibilities, payroll and everything. The town can't afford a person with credentials that can do all that. That's a very serious accountant that comes in and runs your town. From what I've listened to for the last 7 months, we don't have that kind of money. So having somebody like
The league.
the league do the very important things so that there's two people and two sets of eyes on it. It also allows you to not have to demand the wage that you might for just a simple clerk. Just saying.
100%.
Good point. But it also allows us then to have hired an individual who has that aptitude and the potential to be able to move toward that.
Yeah, and it also gives the clerk a chance to focus on the town.
Indeed.
Focus on the
And
town.
there's so much.
Focus on the ordinances, focus on the things that have obviously been dropped.
Indeed, indeed.
Okay,
Thank you, Chris.
yeah, thank you.
I got the lagoon problem.
Okay.
Moving on.
Because the next item was going to be the recommendation of our temporary employee. And I guess we'll wait a minute while Charlie is taking his call.
Is the temporary employee,
Already employed.
Shay Fredette.
It's already employed.
And yes, and Shay was approved for 90 hours, I believe it is.
90 days.
90 days, I'm sorry. Yeah, gosh, 90 hours. And so over time, Shay has been nibbling away at that time. Because it was already approved for last year, we just need to then approve that we can continue to have him. But he has been accepted to college, and so we only have him for a short period.
Until he's gone.
Until he's full-time, but we have also asked when he comes back for spring breaks, or I don't know exactly the correct term, but whenever he's back in town, if he can help us, he will help us.
That's
And,
perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Lorraine's
And
discussing
so-
Shay if you want to add anything.
Shay's doing good work for you, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
No problems from you then?
no, he also turns 18 next week, which is a very great thing. So, yeah.
So then you'll be legal to drive our machinery.
with training, with
Yeah.
training, yes indeed, and he's quite skilled.
Cool. All right, well, that sounds great, yeah.
He's a good kid.
He is a
Yeah.
good kid.
No, I feel like I met him before, yeah, that's nice.
He-
Cool.
Yeah, he's extremely conscientious, he's a very good worker. He communicates well with not only Charlie, but with the other office staff and individuals. He's personable, so I think we've really found a good person there as well.
Yeah, and there is a high likeliness that he will not fulfill the 90 days. But like we've kind of talked, it's not really, or what, I don't know if it, you know, that was the terms that he was hired on last time was 90 working days. So it took from the end of last summer through the school year, you know, all the way up until this point. He has like 2 days left or.
Right. Maybe if you need to draft up a new working agreement, maybe ask him what his availability is when, and then we can maybe draft up a new one that is more focused on what his actual availability is. We can just work with that.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see any problems.
Right on.
Good suggestion, Tim. Yeah, I had kind of proposed that maybe we look at what would be his outside so that we can approve of for our needs and.
Yeah, because it seems awkward for him to like do part of it and then not complete
Yeah,
whatever the agreement is, and then, you know, that leaves some weird, you know, loose ends. So if we can try and get that as close to whatever he has available, that'd be nice, and then we can just be like, cool. But yeah, no problems at all, however you want to do it.
Okay.
Well, let's say hypothetically, if he goes off to school and his things change and he decides not to come back,
Right.
can we hire another person without going through council again?
We should absolutely just keep that position available.
I-
For whoever is open to fill it, it is a part-time position, that should be there.
thank you
Very
for
nice.
suggesting that and bringing it
The work will
up.
be there, we can always have someone doing it, right?
That's kind of what we had hoped, so that's very good.
Okay.
Okay,
Awesome.
very good.
So we're
Totally
agreed.
awesome.
Yes.
All right. Then we have to talk about the May staff training. So in light of the clerk treasurer changeover, and it was recommended to us by the Jodys and several people that we've spoke to, this clerk treasurer training, if you all recall last year, Nancy put in for a scholarship, and so she could attend the training for free. That included transportation, the room, and the cost of the training. But it's so much. The Jodys both said that this is pretty intense. It's a little bit too much, even for Shannon, who has this experience, and also to have the new clerk be expected to be able to just jump into that and having jumped into the new position. So it was recommended that the clerk treasurer wait until next May's training when they would qualify for the scholarship next year and also have the experience under their belt, and that we'd like to include both Shannon and the new clerk in the clerk treasurer training. But I am interested in going to the elected official training. Sharon has indicated she is as well. how about the three of you?
I'll be out of town. I have a,
Said no.
I have a work trip. I may not be available.
I will not be available.
You are available?
I may not be, I don't know for sure. I have surgeries coming up that I have to plan with.
And what did you say, Tim? I apologize.
I'll be out of town.
You're out of town?
Or Mexico.
So, not likely, so we need a decision from you then for sure by tomorrow, if you could tell me.
I can't.
No, you're not, okay. So, it's Sharon and I.
I'm sorry, my phone's been blowing up tonight. I've got things going on personally.
Okay,
I'm not 100% sure I can be here for that training, so I
Okay.
can't make a commitment today or tomorrow.
okay. Well, thank you for that clarification. So this is the MSU Local Government Center training. This is the Montana Municipal Institute that is for elected officials. I'm quite excited about it because I think any learning that I can put under my belt, I will. And next year, I think, I don't know, I don't think there's a scholarship for mayors, but wouldn't that be nice? So anywho, it's in the budget, Sharon and I will be attending. We've already talked about, it's okay that we share a room, so that will save the town a little bit of money, there's no reason to have 2 rooms for us. And so if you wanna come in tomorrow, I'll get you registered and we'll get our room block made.
Okay.
There's additional materials in here talking about trainings for the council, for your information.
Thank you.
Thank you. And perhaps next year, you would consider if that would fit into your schedule. It is always the first week in May. Clerk is Sunday through Friday. The council and mayors are, must be
Tuesday.
Tuesday through Saturday? Anyway,
Yeah.
less days. It's getting late. Okay.
Then through the 7th.
Shannon, did you have clerk notes?
I think we've pretty much gone through. Yeah.
Okay. I had a quick note from when we had spoke before about the local government review. This was all such a big mystery to us in the past. So the Montana 6th local government review timeline in terms of its MCA 7-3-171 through 193. The training started February of 2024 and went through November of 2024 here. Okay, and then there's another part here that talks about other trainings. So essentially what I'm saying is we missed out. But to understand the process, there are 6 different styles of government that a municipality of our size is able to operate under. Last month I thought I couldn't remember if there were 6 or 7. I have clarified there are 6. And the one that we operate under is the municipality of being a council mayor situation. And so we're also defined under 7-1-4111. Number 4, we are a municipal corporation having a population of less than 1,000 and more than 300, which is why we are a town officially and not a city. We are a town. And that our governing powers then are legislative and executive. So the executive is me as the mayor. I manage the executive functions, which is essentially I facilitate the meetings. The council is the legislative power of the governing body, and that gives the council the power to make motions and have actions as we saw before. So I don't want to spend a whole bunch of time going through this, but if anybody is more interested in hearing more about it, it will be until 2033 before this is on our ballot again, if we wish to have a local government review. But the purpose of the review is to determine, is this the style of government that best serves our needs, or is one of the other 5 better? There was a small percentage of governmental entities in the state that participated this year, and what happens is that you are elected, or if there's just a few people that come forward and volunteer, you need to attend these trainings that I just listed off that would have happened in 24, and it's part of the local government center that does those trainings. So, essentially a moot point, but the question was asked and I wanted to complete the answer.
Okay, well, mark your calendars.
Yes, please, mark your calendars. It's become painfully apparent that our ordinances are in super sad shape. And I will apologize again for pushing the garbage ordinance in an attempt to get a first reading for tonight. I really was hopeful that we had gotten it collected better and that perhaps we would be able to do an amendment in the future that would be more specific to bears, but I'm glad that we're going to talk about that with the bear group during their regular meeting and seeing if perhaps we can have another first reading in the May meeting. But we have another ordinance that has been presented to us, and that is our firearms ordinance that the sheriff said last month we are completely out of compliance, or I guess his words were illegal. And that ordinance will be read in May for the first time. We read it twice, and after the second reading, then there's a resolution to adopt the new ordinance.
Can we get a copy of that before it's read?
Most definitely. So please come by the office and pick up a copy of the firearms ordinance as was presented to us last month by our sheriff, and he said he also ran it through our town attorney, that he gave it his blessing, and so unfortunately, well, I don't know. I wanted to try to include it tonight, but here we are, almost 9 o'clock.
Can that be put on the town website?
As the draft? That's a good question.
Yeah.
I mean,
Good
if
question.
you're handing it out to the public, I don't know why it couldn't be on the website.
Well, when we put anything on the town website, we incur charges of the individual who manages our website at this point in time. And often it ends up that things need to be recreated in order to be in a format to go onto the website. One of the goals with the new clerk that has been hired is that the management of the website will go to the clerk, so that that could be an easier and more seamless operation. And so that something like this could get put up there, and public comment perhaps could be taken. I don't know. I don't know anything about websites, but
I don't know if you use Google Drive at all, but you could just put a link on the website.
We struggle with using a lot of those products because they are not, we don't have enough control over them.
I'll come and get a copy.
that becomes a problem in terms of control, and there is something in the packet, I do believe, regarding, I don't know what happened to mine, that was talking about how we can communicate together. Because it was discussed earlier that when 3 of these people are in a room together, we have a public meeting. And there is protocol that you have to have 48 hours notice for any public meeting to occur that has a written agenda with any action items listed. So if we intend to take action on a particular item, it has to be on the agenda with a 48 hours minimum notice. With a Tuesday night meeting, that's Friday night that we have to have this posted. So I'm not trying to be difficult, I'm just explaining the process as it's been explained to us. And one new great thing that has been super revolutionary, we can communicate by email if each of the council members is a BCC, because that prevents them hitting the reply all, and now you've created a public meeting and we've now are out of compliance. So we're learning these little details and trying to be sure that, yeah, that was the one.
Oh, I thought you couldn't find it, sorry.
Yeah, I wanted to be sure that you had it. Oh, it's this one right here, yes. It's been too long of a night, and now I so apologize to the public. Is there any public comment? Can I believe your hand is up,
Yeah, quick draw, over there.
please? Quick draw, Kim.
Kim Garding, I represent Alberton Senior Citizens. I would like the council's permission to put up a sign, kind of a, not permanent, but there would be a pipe down in the ground, and then the sign would set down into that, be about 2 feet by 3 feet. And I have interchangeable panels with little hooks on them that I could say Alberton Senior Citizens Lunch. One sign would say Alberton Town Council Meeting, and one sign would say the market.
Fair market.
Where would the sign go?
Out front.
By the end of the sidewalk?
By the sidewalk, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Well, this sounds great. Why don't we put it on the agenda for next meeting, and we can move forward to that. Thank you for bringing that to our attention.
Yes.
It'd be a lot nicer than a little sign that gets blown over all the time.
Right.
Yeah, yes. In that subject of the sign, I just spoke with my contact for the markets, and I have somebody that's of the opinion that we don't need to have the farmer's market and the winter market. Can we change the name to the market or the Alberton market and call it across the board?
You might have to talk to the people who run the market.
And I did, I just spoke with her, I didn't speak with her, but she said she doesn't have control with that. It came with the name when she kind of started her business and doing it and kind of become the contact person for the markets. She wonders if it's up to the council.
No, it's not up to us.
Okay.
What about Michael
Michael
Davidson?
Davidson.
Yeah,
Molly, okay, so,
because he does the regular farmer's market,
okay.
ish, that he's the coordinator there, so.
That's the event organizers.
Yeah, if those two people were able to talk, I
Okay.
don't.
I'll tell her.
Does it sound like anybody else see the issue with the name change?
Doesn't seem to be.
It's up to them, we did.
Perfect. Excellent. Thank you, Kim. Garth?
Hello,
Garth, what's your last name, please?
my name is Garth Reedy.
R-E-I-B-E.
I am a resident of Alberton for 8 years now. I've been meaning to see you guys for about 6 weeks, but I had complete knee surgery 8 weeks ago, so I'm hobbling around. But I wanted to come. I know most of you guys. May I approach the bench? I wanted to give you guys. I hadn't approached you guys since it's been 2018 when I upgraded your propane tanks. I put in your heaters and took care of you through the company that you're currently with. Recently, the company that I was with for the last 5 years, which was 406 Propane, you probably saw me driving through town quite a bit, was purchased by the larger company. They bought us out, and all of us were let go. So, instead of us selling our home and moving off into the distance, I was approached by John's Fuel Farm out of Ronan, Montana, and they have 2 little locations, Thompson Falls and Ronan. Small, local, Montana-owned company, which is nice about the small companies. I found that at 406, that we have lower overhead, lower prices, and it's a more personable, customer base. I can take care of my customers one-on-one. I get to know everybody. And that's the way I'd like to do it over the last 25 years. So I just wanted to approach you guys, and I don't know if it would be the council's decision or if we put it up to a closed bid situation where the other company can also put in a closed envelope. That's what we did in Superior 6 years ago when I was with, going against Mineral Energy, when I was with Energy Partners. And it was a closed bid. We each got to say what we wanted. We turned the bid in. You guys voted in private or however you wanted to do it and decided what company you wanted to be with. But I just wanted to provide you guys an option. I haven't got to approach you guys for a while. I'm right here in town. I live on the hill. I am available 24/7 because I will be the one running this little company. And so my dining table and my pickup is my office right now until I get my location set up in Frenchtown. So, and we're also kind of looking maybe out here at the exit. So,
Wonderful.
options. So, I'm here to save people money and provide a great service and stay in the community. So, just wanted to bring that to your attention.
Appreciate you approaching us and definitely would like a proposal, but I don't know. Council, what do you think? You want to have
I
a
think legally we have to get 3 quotes.
I think that's something like that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
That's why I thought do it fair, do it right,
indeed,
and would love to earn your business again.
wonderful.
So, and save and I know this town needs to save some money, so I'd love to help you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you, Larry.
We
all right.
really appreciate you approaching us.
I apologize, I missed the last meeting, but I was on too many pain meds to join.
It would have been more entertaining.
She was about ready to kick me out of the house.
Glad he's on.
So, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank
Doris.
you.
Any additional public comment?
I have a comment. I know that there are some new people here. Do I need to state my name?
Yes.
Kyle Cerenciani, I'm a sitting council member. I would like to state, I know that there is some new assembly of our meetings going forward with the new mayor. I would like to state that there was too much put on here tonight. And I think it does a disservice to people who have comment, who want to say something. I think we covered way too many items that did not merit a vote, though they did not lack importance, but were big time burdens that were not necessary. And it is, I would like to thank Andy Short for requesting a 6 p.m. start because we would be staring down the barrel of 10 o'clock. And as we go forward, I'd like to see these spaced a little bit more so that people have an adequate amount of time to voice an opinion, feelings on the subjects. And that is all I have to say.
Thank you, Kyle. Duly heard. We knew this was a heck of an agenda. And we're going to figure out a way to evaluate things better in the future. And it sounds like your comments, from what I see, heads nodding. There's a lot of appreciation there. Yeah, and I totally agree. I'm like getting early myself.
Outside any, thing I might feel, I just feel like this broken in half would be better served to the public.
Duly noted.
All right.
Thank you very much. And just to call to your attention, the May meeting will be on the 12th rather than the 5th because of the training. I would entertain a motion.
All right, second.
Give
Well,
the
let's
first
do
then.
first.
You're gonna first.
I haven't eaten since noon, I'm feeling out of my skin.
I'll second that
I've made a
motion.
motion, Tim has seconded, and all in favor?
Aye.
Everybody can say,
Aye.
meeting adjourned. Thank you all for your patience.
Okay.